Hey everyone, my name is Penny Zenker, and it's time to reset. This podcast goes beyond just navigating change. It's about new ways of thinking about how you can approach challenges, how you can shift your mindset when needed, create some space and grace for yourself so that you can rethink, recharge, and reprioritize when and where needed. Are you ready to unlock your full potential? Thank you for hitting play and sharing this next episode with me. It's time to reset. Welcome back. My name is Penny Zenker, and this is Time to Reset. Today, I want to talk about feedback loops and how important it is to close those feedback loops. Because when these loops are left open, they take up space. They really decline our cognitive ability to manage complete things. This is one of the reasons why we feel so completely distracted. It's not just our phones. It's the fact that there's so many things going on that we open a number of loops and we don't close them. And I didn't really recognize this in myself and how important it was until lately. I'm in the process of moving, and I've been in this house for 15 years. So I've accumulated a lot of stuff that I don't need. I have furniture to get rid of. There's a whole huge list of things that need to be done when you're moving, right? You need to change your address in different places. You may need to call certain places, will take some type of furniture in terms of donations where they won't take others. And there's just a whole myriad of different things to think about in getting a mortgage and getting all of that set up. And so in addition to that, I've been creating some new content. I have a new keynote that's coming up that I've been working on, a whole research study. And I realized I have so many projects open, so many different tasks that are started but not completed. Maybe you can relate with that as well. And I think it's at an all-time high for me. We've all been there. I'm sure you can relate to a particular time in your life or right now. Do you have a lot of things that are going on that are open and not completed? Or even like relationship challenges that you're working through, right? Or if you're having an issue with someone, that's like an open loop until it's resolved. So these are some of the more emotional ones, right? When they deal with the people that we love or the people that we work with. There's also those times where we start something and we don't follow through at all. So let's talk about 3 reset rhythms that could help you to close the loops that might be open in your day-to-day so that you can reclaim your mental space and stay focused on what matters most without dropping the ball. So let's look at one thing that I recently learned from Jeff Savilico. He refers to Friday finishers. And I love this. This is a great reset rhythm. He gives himself some time every Friday to go through and close open loops in communication. So respond to those lingering texts, go through and see if there's anything that you missed, go through your emails and make sure everything is responded to, any chat messages, right? So that you're taking any open communication and you're closing those loops. You can do the same in following up with your calendar, and you can even capture your unfinished thoughts or tasks in your system. So your Friday finishers can help you finish up for the week, and it can help you to go into your weekend more relaxed because as David Allen talks about, like when you close those loops and you dump everything out of your head into here's the master list of what there is to do or remember, that will help you to free the capacity. It's down on paper or electronically, and you don't need to store it in your head. So these Friday finishers can help you to do that. My suggestion is that you not only have a Friday finisher, but that you have a daily finisher. And that means that instead of waiting until the end of the week, you can have that daily finisher that just takes 30 minutes at the end of the day to make sure that all communications are followed up on. What I like to do is if I have any open communications that I want to make sure I answer tomorrow, I open that email window so it's ready for me. So there might be 3 or 4 open windows waiting for me to complete those emails the following day. I like to then label any documents that came in that haven't been labeled or any communications. I have a short code for each client. So I use that short code to be able to find any item across all platforms very quickly if it's related to a client project. And that is of benefit because we don't necessarily have to store everything in folders in a certain way. We have an incredible search capability now, so we can just have that short code to find that project, that client, or whatever it is we're looking for quickly. But you know how it is. If you don't do that on a daily basis, then very quickly it can be overwhelming. I just saw a recent statistic that we have more data and information and documentation today in one day than we do in an entire lifetime over 50 years ago that they had. So that's incredible. And if we want to manage this chaos of all that's coming at us, then we need to have a system and we need to close those loops, and we need to do that on a daily basis. And I got away from that for a while. I thought it wasn't important and I wasn't doing it. And now that I'm moving, I'm recognizing all of the chaos around me, and it's digital as well as it is in my home. So this whole year for me is dedicated to getting back on track and slowly organizing everything in a way that makes it easier for me to find things, easier for me to follow a process or delegate something, and just reduces stress so that I'm simplifying. I'm reducing down the number of software platforms that I have, reviewing all of my processes. So this year is to help me to clean up and get on track. And of course, I'm using AI wherever possible to make that more efficient. So you've got your Friday finishers and you've got your daily finishers. What about your Monday morning resets? When you start Monday morning, it's important that you realign with the intention for the week, right? Set your goals for the week and make really concrete deliverables of what you want to have completed by the end of the week, so that you are more focused and targeted throughout the week. Because anytime that you would find yourself off kilter, you could say, hold on a second, what is it that I'm looking to achieve for this week? What are those concrete, specific, measurable delivers that you're working on this week? What matters most? If there are any open loops that you left for yourself to complete, you can work on those. And also, what feedback do you need or input do you need for the week so that you can be efficient and focus on the execution? Collect the information, the feedback, the clarity that you need on Monday so that you have clarity for execution for the week. And then lastly, as a reset rhythm, a very simple thing. I'm currently going to breath school. And what that is, just attending these group breathing sessions as accountability to have me do intentional breathing techniques that I can use to reduce stress, to ground me, to process emotional challenges and things like that, so that we can let it move through the body instead of getting stuck in the body. And I suggest that you create reset rhythms with that too, so that you're doing 3 points of focus and refocus. So 3 reset moments throughout the day will help you to stay focused on what matters most: morning, midday, and then late afternoon. And actually, let me add one more thing there is reset moments are natural also to be focused on during transitions. So anytime you have a transition from one block to another, so let's say you're working on a report and you have 1 hour scheduled for that, and you have scheduled to create a draft in that 1 hour. Now you're going to move from that report to a meeting, and then maybe another meeting and another meeting, all back to back. And then maybe afterwards you have some more time that you can dedicate to, let's say, client outreach. So each one of those requires a different energy. It requires a different focus. You have a different goal for that time frame. And so it's important that we really pay attention and be intentional with our transitions so that we're closing the loop from anything that we started in that particular time block, and allow us to free our mind and open to the intention for the next block and the goal that we want to focus on for the next block. So to do that, we have to give ourselves 5 minutes at the end of every block so that we can do our finisher, close any loops, and then turn our attention to the next thing. What that can also include is 3 deep breaths in, breathing up through the nose, breathing in as much air as you can by expanding the belly as high as you can and holding it there just for a few seconds, and then releasing it, if possible, with an audible sigh. Ah. Because that audible sigh, it actually helps to stimulate our vagus nerve, which is our reset button in our body. So doing that, using your breath, helps to bring that emotion, that stress, to bring it through the body. Hold. Ah. If you can do that 3 times, in addition to closing any loops from your block and then setting an intention and looking at your objective for the next session, showing up with that right energy and direction, that's going to make a huge difference in you being more productive through the day. So take back control of those transitions. And in those transitions, you're going to do those 3 things. You're going to close the loop from that particular time block. You're going to reset your nervous system, and you're going to set an intention and understand your goal and objective of how you want to show up and what you want to accomplish in that next block. By doing this, you're going to be way more productive throughout your day. You're going to stop stress from compounding, and you're going to feel more accomplished at the end of the day because you were really focused on what mattered most. In each of those time blocks, you use that transition time to realign yourself to what's most important. And at the end of the day, we feel productive when we focused on the things that were most important. It's not just about what we achieved. It's about we achieved the right things, that we made progress, and we can recognize that progress. I promise you that you're going to feel more productive when you simply focus on making progress on the most important things. So this is the way that we close our loops on a weekly basis, on a daily basis, and even on an hour-to-hour basis. It's probably one of the most important things that you can do for yourself. And after you've done this for yourself and you see the value it has, you can also help others to do this as well. You can share some of these concepts. Of course, that's a huge value. And you can also create space to close loops within your team. So that might look like 5 minutes before and after a meeting. Jeff Bezos does this 5 minutes into the meeting. They review the agenda and give people time to review and prepare for the meeting so that everybody is on the same page. That's a reset rhythm. That's also helping to open and close loops effectively. And at the end of the meeting, to have 5 minutes to rate the meeting for its quality, but also to identify action items and to close any open loops that need to be closed from that meeting. So coming back full circle is that these feedback loops, when we shorten our feedback loops and we close open loops, that's where the momentum drives us forward faster. So with that in mind, what is your next action? Take 3 minutes before you go on to the next thing to identify what are you going to put in place to help you put these reset rhythms so that you can shorten your feedback loops and close open loops that might be creating stress for you. So what are your next actions? What did you take away from this session? Either some of the tips that I gave you or something that maybe sparked new or reminded you of something you used to do that worked, but you're not doing it anymore, or even something that you're doing that you could do more effectively or more often. Reflect on that and make sure that you are putting something in the practice that's going to help you close some of those open loops on a regular basis, whether it's weekly, daily, or hourly. And also how you can shorten those feedback cycles so that you can move forward fast and with greater momentum. And that's all for today. And that's all for today. So we'll see you in the next episode. Hey, thank you for spending this time with me. It really means a lot. If you're feeling a little off, distracted, overwhelmed, stuck, or just out of sync, remember that's your signal to reset. And that's all it takes, just recognizing one reset moment at a time. So stay tuned for more tips, tools, tricks, stories, strategies, all here on Time to Reset. We'll see you in the next episode.